Girona is an incredibly well-preserved medieval city that's just a short train ride away from Barcelona. It makes for one of the best day trips that you can take. But if you have some more time, it's definitely worth exploring a little bit more. It's a city that's packed with history, and its Jewish quarter, cathedral, and medieval walls are definitely worth exploring. So in this video, we're gonna tackle some of the best things that you can do while you're here, some of the best places to eat, and all of those great stories that make Girona the city that it is. And one of the big draws to Girona has always been Game of Thrones. Season 6 was filmed in large part right here. Some of you might even recognize the bridge right behind me, and Arya gets stabbed by the waif and falls into the river. Take a closer look and you'll realize there's no water here. The cathedral's placed high above the main plaza, which was originally part of that Roman Forum. There's all sorts of different styles and designs inside of the cathedral today that started as a Romanesque church before turning into that Gothic cathedral, but the facade, Baroque in style, wasn't put on until the 1700s, and the final parts of the cathedral weren't finished until the 20th century. When you're inside, you really get an idea for the width and the depth of everything around. Inside, you've got the burial of Hermesende de Carcassona, and you might recognize that on the coffin, there's the stripes of the Catalan flag. Some people say that's where they got those bars for the Counts of Catalonia and later the Kings of Aragon. One of the things you're going to want to do is walk up or down the stairs. They've become the most iconic part of the cathedral. Years ago, after the 6th season of Game of Thrones came out, everybody was coming over here and trying to get pictures of them walking up yelling, "Shame, shame." And if you know what I'm talking about, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that was actually season 5. Season 6 being over here in Girona, the place where Cersei walked down those steps is actually over in Croatia. So don't do it.
Shame, shame.
Don't worry about getting over to Croatia for those steps. You've got plenty of opportunities to take pictures of Game of Thrones all over Girona. And if you remember the opening scene of season 6, you might recognize where I am right now. And don't skip out on the San Feliu Church. Remember, it's included in the same ticket to get into the cathedral. And it's really worth it to get in here and see the 2 most important saints in Girona, Saint Felix, which the church is named after, and also Saint Narcís, who had that legend of the flies. Where I am right now is the chapel, and it's absolutely stunning. Girona's Jewish quarter was one of the largest during the Middle Ages, and it's still incredibly well preserved. One of the reasons it was so big and so many people came over here was because they had some of the best thinkers and schools for the Kabbalah. One of the streets you're definitely going to want to get down is Carrer de la Força, which runs right through the center of that Jewish quarter. And if you've got some time, head on over to the History Museum for the Jewish people here in Girona as well. One of the symbols that you'll find right outside of the museum is the word Safarad, Spain in Hebrew. You'll find it not only here, but in Jewish quarters all around Spain. Take a closer look. They've warped it so that it looks like the Spanish peninsula. You've got Portugal over here, getting into Galicia you've got the entire north, Madrid in the center, Andalusia, Valencia, Catalunya, Aragon. It's one of my favorite things to check out. Quick cafe recommendation, Federal Cafe, one of my favorites in the city. And one of the best restaurants in Girona, and one you should definitely make sure you make a reservation to get over to, is Le Bistrot. It's like a Paris-based restaurant, but it's on an incredible location. You're right on the stairs going up towards the San Dominic Church, San Martí Church as well, and you couldn't ask for a better setting. We're actually right next to one of the main scenes of Game of Thrones, where Arya's running away from the waif, falls down, and all the oranges trickle down the stairs. It's one of the best spots to come over, picturesque, and to be able to have dinner here is a real nice treat. And with the river running right through the center, you've got a bunch of different bridges crisscrossing back and forth. The most famous is where we are right now, known as Pescaderías Bellas. It's the old fisheries, but more commonly, it's known as the Eiffel Bridge, built by Gustav Eiffel in 1877, 12 years before that Eiffel Tower. If you want to get the best picture in Girona, come right over here. You've got the Cathedral Sant Feliu right in the back, and I guarantee you can't find a better spot around the city. Whether you're just doing a day trip or you're staying here for a couple nights, food is going to be a big part of your trip here to Girona. One of the best restaurants in the world is just outside the city center. And if it's not in your time frame or in your budget, one of the places you're going to have to go is their ice cream store. It's called Rocambolesque, and you got to try it out. So I got the baked apple, which is my favorite, but they always have flavors that are going and changing. One of the best things about this place is that they have different toppings you can get as well, and they have recommendations, which I always think that you should follow. Once you get your ice cream, head on over to Plaza De Independencia, sit on down, and enjoy it. Plaza de la Independencia is named after the independence wars with Napoleon and the French. It used to be an old convent, which gives it its structure that it has today. Every single Spanish city has a plaza like this, and here in Girona, Independencia is packed with all sorts of different restaurants.
Let's get scratching. Let's get scratching. Let's get scratching.
And one thing you definitely don't want to miss is walking along the medieval walls. Keep in mind that Girona can be very hot in the summer, so you're going to want to do it earlier in the morning or later in the evening. While you're walking along, you've got all sorts of different towers that are left over that'll give you some great views of the city. The vantage point of being up here is being able to see into all of those streets and understanding the Girona that you've been walking through and falling in love with. But my recommendation is to wait, not go into every single one of these towers, and get to the one that's closest to the cathedral. From there, you'll have the best views. We're definitely at the most daunting challenge of the wall yet. It's up here we've got some of the best views of the entire city. The wall continues on a little bit more, but if you jump out here right by the Gironella Tower, you can walk down through a really nice forested path.
Let's get scratching. Let's get scratching. Let's get scratching.
A restaurant recommendation for you while you're over here is Brots David. I've had the lunch menu before, it's really nice, it's got a lot of different options, but today we had dinner and you have all sorts of things on the menu. We had pumpkin rolls, bravas, a really nice salad, duck, and we topped it all off with a ratafia ice cream, which is like a special liquor that's really popular, herbal liquor over here in Girona, and carquinyoles, which are a nice little kind of like biscuit. Really worth it. Definitely check it out. And I've found some of the best views of the cathedral to be right here at the terrace of the Hotel Ultonia. If you're looking for other amazing day trips outside of Barcelona, make sure to check out this playlist next.